So every day that passes, Grand Theft Auto 6 is getting closer. Every day you wake up, every day you breathe, every day you go back to sleep. Don't worry, we are getting closer to Grand Theft Auto 6. And that is good news for a lot of us considering everything going on in the world. You know, I keep seeing this running joke on, oh man, I hope I live to see Grand Theft Auto 6. And don't worry, I felt that way about Skyrim back in 2010, and I made it to 2011, believe it or not. So don't worry, you're gonna make it to see Grand Theft Auto 6. But today, since we're all excited about Grand Theft Auto 6, I had a comment saying to cover some of the activities that are going to be in Grand Theft Auto 6. So I kind of went down the rabbit hole and I've put together a massive list of activities that are confirmed, speculated, and some wild theories on activities that are going to be in Grand Theft Auto 6. So we're going to start out with the confirmed activities, loosely confirmed. Nothing's really confirmed until the game is in our hands. Then we're going to get into the highly speculated activities, and then we are going to get into the outlandish stuff, which you know I love, and I'm trying to structure these videos in a way now where I'm very clear on when I'm getting into that kind of stuff. But as always, take everything I say with a grain of salt because, again, we don't have the game in our hands. But let's get excited. So let's start out with these confirmed activities. So these kinds of activities have either been confirmed officially through like trailers, screenshots. So let's start out with some of the obvious ones. We're going to have fishing. And this has been confirmed in official screenshots showing Jason and Cal fishing from boats. I don't think Rockstar is going to show something like that and then have it not be a feature, especially after how incredible it was in Red Dead Redemption 2. Definitely expect we're going to Vice City, we're going to Florida, Leonida, whatever. There is going to be fishing in this game. So between all of the crazy robberies and all the crazy nonsense, you can stop, take in the smell of the salt from the ocean and all of that stuff, feel the humidity on your skin while doing some fishing with your buddies. And you know what? It looks like we're going to be able to hang out with buddies too, because, you know, Jason and Cal, it'd be cool to call them up instead of, hey, Nico, let's go bowling. It'll be, hey, Jason, let's go fishing. Moving on, we've got jet skiing. So jet skiing is going to be in the game. Now, to what extent, I'm not certain. I mean, really, to jet ski, all you need to do is get on one and go jet skiing. And it's going to be really cool getting on a jet ski and just playing with kind of how the water physics work in the game. I'm really excited to do that. Next, we have kayaking, and that has been confirmed in an official Rockstar screenshot. Over here, you can see this guy kayaking over at Mount Calaga. So kayak to your heart's content. It seems like this game's going to have some slower paced activities, which is really cool because it'll be a nice contrast from the chaos and violence and all that kind of stuff that we're going to see in story missions and side missions and stuff like that. Very similar to how Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of balanced it. And of course, I mean, if you've played Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, come on, all of you have, there's going to be scuba diving. If you remember back when Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming out, they were talking so much about exploring underwater, how cool it's going to be. There's going to be a submarine, and it was cool. They did a lot of, you know, cool stuff. You can go underwater and you could look around, and that was pretty dang new for a Grand Theft Auto game. You know, we hadn't really seen anything like that before, I think, in a Rockstar game. Well, now you're going to have scuba diving, and expect it to be Subnautica levels of beautiful. There's going to be a lot of underwater exploration in this game, which makes sense because we've got the ocean, there's going to be lakes, there's going to be rivers, there's going to be all sorts of stuff. There's going to be a big presence of water in Grand Theft Auto 6. Now let's move on to like fitness and sports kind of stuff. We're going to have bodybuilding and working out. So if you look between a few of the screenshots, it seems like Jason is either getting stronger or skinnier or maybe a little chubbier. So I think we are going to see a weight loss mechanic and weight gain mechanic like we saw in Red Dead Redemption 2. And now you're going to be able to lift weights and maybe get stronger. So expect it to be kind of like San Andreas and really just very similar to Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe a little bit expanded on, maybe a little bit more dumbed down, maybe just the same as it was in Red Dead Redemption 2, but we are going to see some sort of workout mechanic in this game. Next, we're going to have mini golf, which is shown in official Rockstar screenshots, and that's going to be really freaking cool. I myself have traveled to the coastal areas of Texas, stuff like Corpus Christi and all that kind of stuff, and they have mini golfing areas out there that are really freaking cool. I don't know what it is about being on the coast and mini golf, but it seems like anytime you're out the coast and there's a tourist trap and there's a lot of tourist stuff, there's mini golf. So of course in Vice City in 2026, we're going to have mini golf. And I'm really excited to see the interactions between like Jason and Cal or Lucia and the stuff they say to each other while playing the mini golf games. It's going to be really cool and really fun time to see some character development. But, you know, moving on a little bit from sports, let's talk about like fighting and combat sports. It seems like there's going to be some sort of underground MMA, maybe cage fighting kind of thing. Lucia is shown fighting in an MMA style ring. We also have that shot of her like jumping off of like a plane onto like the landing gear or some sort of door that's open. And so it seems like Lucia has a lot of experience with MMA, and I'm assuming Jason does too. And like we've seen these pictures of like boxing training, so maybe there's going to be boxing, which is a little bit different than your MMA, which is, mixed martial arts. It's looking like there might even be straight up boxing, which would be neat and kind of opens up the idea that there might be multiple fighting styles in this game similar to San Andreas. That is not confirmed. We'll see on the multiple fighting style stuff, but there's going to be some form of boxing MMA in this game. Now let's move on to like gaming and entertainment stuff. There's of course going to be pool like there was in Grand Theft Auto 4, and I am so glad because I loved playing pool with Roman in Grand Theft Auto 4. I love playing pool with little Jacob in Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't know, there was just something about it. Grand Theft Auto 4 feels so cold and everything, and when you go into that little bar and you play pool with them, it just feels so cozy, and I'm excited to do that again. And it's really fun listening to the characters talk smack to each other while they're playing against each other. So that's going to be really fun. There is going to be video games. We see Jason has like a PlayStation 5 or something like that. If you've watched my video on space elements being in Grand Theft Auto 6, you'll know that there's probably going to be a Republican Space Rangers game or something like that. If not, there's going to be some sort of video games that we can play and interact with, which isn't a big surprise. Rockstar's always had that. If you remember in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, there was that little spaceship game you could play as CJ at his home. There's going to be stuff like that, just more thought out, and maybe some pretty intricate games within a game. We've been seeing more and more of that as time's gone on, like in Fallout 4, how you could find little game holotapes and put them in your Pit-Boy and play it. So expect something pretty cool from the game consoles within Grand Theft Auto 6. I've got a feeling that they're going to go a little extra with the games in Grand Theft Auto 6 that you can play within the game, and why not? Rockstar likes to flex. And of course, there's going to be watching TV, which has been a feature since Grand Theft Auto 4. Now in Grand Theft Auto 5, I felt like they might have dumbed it down just a little bit, or maybe just had less channels or just less stuff on. I could be wrong about that, but I do remember in Grand Theft Auto 4 sitting down at Roman's apartment at the very beginning of the game, as soon as Nico gets off the boat, and, he's tired and he's watching some TV, before he goes and sees Roman for the first time.
Okay, who's in charge now, huh? So suddenly this guy comes out and he attacks me. I grab a beer bottle, break it on the table, stab it in his face. It's bleeding everywhere.
And I loved the TV channels in Grand Theft Auto 4. They were hysterical. Some of the best stuff I've ever seen in a video game for comedy.
Imagine that, okay? Get your mind around that. Flipping shrimp like on a cruise ship forever.
So I'm really excited to see what they do with Grand Theft Auto 6 and to see their commentary on our world these days, because my God, it has been since 2008 now since Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. So man, it's weird. That's not relevant commentary anymore. If anything, Grand Theft Auto 4 is kind of becoming a period piece, kind of like Vice City or something. I don't know. It's weird. Moving on, we're gonna have dancing, which is obvious based off of the trailers and stuff. It seems like we can go dancing with Lucia. You can expect some more like date night kind of activities and stuff, since our protagonists are going to be a couple, and that's going to be really freaking cool. But as you know, they're going all out on outdoor activities this time around, especially coming hot off of Red Dead Redemption 2. They're going to be bringing a lot of that kind of stuff into the game. So you can expect stuff like hunting, and you can expect it to be just as good as it was in Red Dead Redemption 2, and not as lackluster as it was in Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I do have to give it to them. They did add that feature in Grand Theft Auto 5, and that was impressive, and it was cool. They went really big with Grand Theft Auto 5, but I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2 not only went big, but it had depth to back it up that the hardware at the time of Grand Theft Auto 5's release just couldn't quite cope with. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do the hunting in Grand Theft Auto 6, especially with all this modern day tactical, COOL, tactical, with all of that kind of equipment out and about. I don't know if you keep up with guns and hunting and stuff like that, but there's a bunch of fancy equipment that you can go hunting with. So I'm really curious if they're going to kind of explore that world a little bit, since we're going to be in Florida or Leonida, and really excited to see it. Next, there's going to be dirt bike racing, which is cool. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but it seems like they're really going all out with it. Ever since we've seen the mud physics from Red Dead Redemption 2 and just kind of how it looks, and I don't know, it's fun to play with the mud in Red Dead Redemption 2 as well as the snow and stuff like that. It seems like we're going to be having some activities in the dirt and mud in Vice City. So like dirt bike racing, ATVs, stuff like that. Seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. But now let's get into criminal activities. So there is going to be bank robberies, whether it's part of just story missions or we can do it independently of story missions. I don't know, but there are going to be bank robberies. So 100% for certain you can count on it, because it's featured prominently in trailers as story missions, and I think it will probably remain in story missions, given that robbing a bank is a big freaking deal that would change a lot of the stuff around the characters narratively. But for more like small scale robberies that you could do on your own, expect store robberies. I mean, we get a little bit here with Jason hitting the cash register and smacking this guy. So I would expect store robberies. You can kind of do this in other Rockstar games, and they had like little interesting areas you could discover in Red Dead Redemption Redemption 2, and then you could do a full-blown scripted robbery, and that was really cool. So there's going to be some sort of robbery system in this game for stores. Now, we don't currently know if it's all the stores or like select stores, kind of like how they did in Red Dead Redemption 2 with their more like scripted stuff. We have yet to see that, but I think it's going to be the most in-depth we've ever seen it. So I would expect something pretty interesting and big, unless they have to cut back for the hardware towards the end on the amount of stuff they have to do, which hopefully they don't have to do. And of course, it's Grand Theft Auto, so there's going to be a return of strip clubs, and they were very front and center with this in the trailers. So adult entertainment venues are confirmed. And it's a good thing I'm not 12 anymore, because that's what these games were all about when I was 12. But anyways, it also looks like there's going to be boat meets, which you can see in the screenshot right here. And I'm not all sure if this is like a story event or something like that, where you go to a boat meet or something like that. But we do know there's going to be some sort of marine vehicle gathering. So boom, there you go. There's boats, there's people, they're partying, they're drinking. It's like a Where's Waldo painting. Can you find Jason?
Hey, Andy, what are you doing back here in the studio?
Oh, Uncle Jeff said I could come back.
Jeff said you could come back here?
Oh, yeah, man. I thought he would have told you.
It's just you've been in here a lot, and I got to stay late for you.
Yeah, I know, man. And I'm real sorry, and I really appreciate it. It's just, this is a much cooler venue than the bedroom.
What about that ad revenue you promised me? When am I getting a cut of that?
Oh, soon, man. I mean, I haven't really made much, but
What about that NordVPN thing?
Oh, dude, no one's going to buy NordVPN on this. If someone wants NordVPN, they know they want NordVPN
So
already.
you're not even going to try to promote it?
Well, it's not that I'm not going to try to promote it, but it's like, I don't like to bog down each and every video of it. I did do an ad for NordVPN in one of the previous videos.
What about this one?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, there is a link in the description, and they can go click on it, sign up for NordVPN, and it would help us out
There
a
you
lot.
go. That's better. Start selling.
I hear you. It's kind of weird. It's kind of touchy. I don't really like
Just
doing
make
that.
sure your viewers know that they can click the link in the description and that they can watch movies in other countries and protect themselves online.
Yeah, dude, they understand.
What?
Come on, Frank, I'm sorry, man. Please let me get back to this
All right,
video.
just close up behind you. I'm out of here.
All right, thanks, Frank. God, man, some people, I love Frank. I do. I love Frank, but I don't know. It's like he's always got to stick up his butt or something. Anyways, I am so sorry, guys. Let's get back to this video. All right, now let's get into some of my favorite stuff, the highly speculated activities. These are going to be activities that have strong evidence, but a little bit less on the official confirmation front. So let's go ahead and start off with sports, recreation, that kind of thing. Let's talk about golf. So we know that there's going to be like mini golf, but there could also be, beyond mini golf, traditional golf courses, which would be really freaking cool. And honestly, I don't see why not. This map is supposed to be freaking huge, so they're definitely going to have the real estate for it. And while golfing is incredibly boring to watch, it is really fun to play. So I'm very excited to see how they implement golf into Grand Theft Auto 6. Also, I'd keep a lookout for beach football or soccer, something like that. Just some sort of beach sports. It seems like in this big shot right here with everyone on the beach that there's going to be all sorts of little activities, and it could just be stuff the NPCs do. But, you might be able to get in on some sort of beach game, like volleyball, for example. Show up as shirtless Jason, play some volleyball, get a big old sunburn, the coastal life. But more activities, let's talk about water activities, like swimming competitions. There's enhanced swimming mechanics and stuff like that, so why not? Underwater exploration we've already talked about, but what about underwater explorable areas with treasure and secrets? It is Rockstar Games, they love their secrets, and Red Dead Redemption love their treasure hunts, and I think underwater exploration is a great way to add pirate treasure and funny stuff like that, so who knows? And maybe even some spearfishing. I've seen that speculated, so there could be some spearfishing as well. Next, and this one is like loosely confirmed, but we see a presence of basketball courts and stuff like that and screenshots, and I think it's pretty safe to assume we're going to see some basketball stuff in this game. Something kind of light, maybe like how it was with Big Smoke, where you could play basketball in San Andreas, stuff like that. We're going to have tennis, which is no surprise considering that we had tennis in Grand Theft Auto 5. Tennis in Vice City just works, so we're going to see tennis. Next, there appears that there's going to be drug smuggling, which, it's Grand Theft Auto 6, checks out. But you can look at this screenshot right here, this lady handing some stuff off, and it appears we're going to be smuggling drugs in this game. So I don't know how good you feel about that, but it's nothing you haven't done in a Grand Theft Auto game. But it's looking like there might be some sort of like side activity for drug smuggling, which really ties into the whole like Vice City thing. Maybe you'll be flying a plane back and forth between some location we don't know of yet. That'll be kind of small, but like representative of like South America, but not quite, kind of like how Guarma was in Red Dead Redemption 2, and maybe you're flying it back and forth, boating it back and forth. Who knows? Maybe it'll be completely up to you. Who knows how deep that'll go? So apparently there's going to be some form of drinking games in the bar scenes and a lot of social drinking kind of stuff, very similar to how you saw it in Red Dead Redemption 2. Just expect that to be a little bit more fleshed out. It seems like there's going to be amusement parks, stuff like, maybe some sort of like spin on Disney World, something like that, some sort of amusement park to go in whatever the game's version of Orlando is, or just something. Rockstar loves adding amusement parks into their games when it's doable. They did it really well Hotel and Bully with the carnival, and I loved it. They were going to have it in Grand Theft Auto 4, and then for whatever reason decided not to, so it's closed, and that kind of sucks, but it's still there. Also, it's looking like there's going to be car meets, and not just like the Grand Theft Auto Online stuff, but an actual in-game car meetup thing. So there's probably going to be street racing, and you meet up, and you have all these fancy, awesome cars, stuff like that. I don't really know how car meets go in real life. I've seen them happening around me, but I don't really know what you do at it other than just like, hey man, here's my car, check it out. I don't know. Let's talk about bow and arrows. There's going to be hunting in this game, and we're not sure how primal we can go with it, but maybe you're going to be able to get your hands on some like compound bows, stuff like that. And with the people Jason surrounds himself with, and with him being potentially, I think he's ex-military, I would expect some form of like combat training, whether that's like tied up in the story or if it's like a side activity or a skill you can go and improve, like driving school or flying school in San Andreas. There might be some sort of combat training courses and stuff like that. Again, this is the more speculative stuff, so we'll see, but let's move on to car customization. Now, look, I know that this is almost a freaking given, but I had to put it on the highly speculated list because it is not officially confirmed. I mean, it might as well be because in the alpha footage, I remember seeing them take the dash and all of that apart, so it seems like vehicles are incredibly modular, so we'll see. But I would expect a very deep vehicle modification system. It's Grand Theft Auto. Come on, they've got to, especially after San Andreas. I mean, I think they have yet to top that. Maybe in Grand Theft Auto 5, but I don't know. That would be more like Grand Theft Auto Online. And then expect racing competitions. This is almost a given, but expect like street racing and organized events, to go along with those car meets and stuff like that. And then boat racing, and then even air races. It also seems like community service is going to be making its way into this game, so that's going to be interesting. I know the game is probably going to start out with Lucia in prison, so I'm curious to see if we're going to actually be doing community service with her, because it is shown in the trailers. Now let's get into those traditional old school Grand Theft Auto activities. I'm really hoping we see a return of taxi driving, police work with like the vigilante kind of police work stuff. Not the good citizen bonus when you punch them, but when you get into the police car itself and you start hunting down bounties, I kind of hope we see that again. Another one, firefighting, and then ambulance services. So those are the big four if you've played any of the OG Grand Theft Auto games. When I say OG, I mean the OG 3D era. So I'm really hoping we see a return of those in Grand Theft Auto 6. But now it is time to get into the wild theories and extreme speculation. So you know me, and you know that I love wild theories and extreme speculation. So don't just take everything I say here with salt. Take it with the whole thing. Take it with a bunch of salt. Let's get outlandish. Let's get crazy here. We're entering clickbait territory here. But you know what? Some of this stuff could be in the game. So let's see what people have cooked up. I put this part together based on just a bunch of crazy crap I found online. So let's see. All right, let's talk about space. I just won't let it go. So I'm not going to tell you to expect space missions. If I say expect something from this point out, I don't actually mean it. I'm just talking, and I'm going through my list here. But space missions, baby. So realistically, it's going to be in some sort of form of like video game stuff like Republic and Space Rangers. I don't know, maybe in Grand Theft Auto Online, but space missions, man. We're not going to Tahiti. We're going to freaking Mars. We're going to Pluto. It's going to be great. Dutch has a plan. We just got to get enough money together and get to Pluto. But yes, there's some speculation that there's going to be space missions with like astronaut suits and crap like that. I don't know. We'll see. But also like NASA facility missions. Now this is more likely in the game's made up version of NASA doing some sort of missions for them. Space light. I don't think we're going to like space unless it's like in the video games in the in-game universe or some Grand Theft Auto line craziness. But expect, oh, there you go. I said expect, don't expect, but it's possible there's going to be some sort of NASA facility missions, or the game's version of NASA. Next is UFO encounters, and I would honestly definitely expect some weird alien UFO encounters, and I'm really curious to see what creepy Easter eggs they cook up for Grand Theft Auto 6. They went all out with Red Dead Redemption 2. We gotta give props where props are due. Red Dead Redemption 2 had some incredible Easter eggs, so I'm really curious to see how they go about doing UFOs this time around. There have been talks and speculation of like cryptocurrency heists. That doesn't sound as sexy, but I don't know. I don't even know how that stuff really works, but maybe some sort of digital currency-based criminal activities. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that, because that's something I've been seeing a lot of for some reason. Next is the gas station management. So you've heard me talk about this, like refueling vehicles and stuff like that. I had to put this on extreme speculation because it really is just kind of the sum of a bunch of parts that I came to the conclusion that there's probably going to be some sort of gas station or gas management in the game. I think this is not as wild as some of the other stuff on this list. I think we might see something like this in the game. But again, everything I'm talking about right now, lots of salt. Except for maybe the dynamic weather disasters, because I'm almost 100% certain we're going to see hurricanes, but I can't like give you an article and be like, a hurricane hurricanes, 100% confirmed. This is a huge trust me, bro. I really believe we're going to see hurricanes, floods, natural disasters, stuff like that in the game. It seems that the game starts when we get our day in the life with Jason. When we meet the character, it seems like, you know, he's repairing his roof after some sort of tropical storm or hurricane. This has been talked about and widely circulated. I would definitely expect there to be dynamic weather disasters in the game, but it has to fall in this category for now, unfortunately. But you know what? While we're on the crazy speculative like tinfoil hat stuff, what about like character conspiracies and character theories? Like Jason is an undercover cop with a major plot twist involving like law enforcement. And then, you know, there's even talk of like a third protagonist, like this Raoul guy who is super cool. And I mean, he looks so cool to where you're like, how could he not be the third protagonist? And honestly, after seeing the screenshots of this guy, I kind of want to just throw Jason and Lucia aside, and I just want to play as this guy. This guy looks so freaking sick. I want to play as this guy. We know that there's going to be surfing. In fact, if I didn't throw this on an activity earlier, I don't know why I didn't, there is going to be surfing. So let's take surfing real quick. Let's pick that up and let's drag that all the way over to the confirmed activities if I didn't already mention it. But yes, it's looking like there's going to be surfing in Grand Theft Auto 6. But what about surfing with sharks? Are there going to be sharks in this game? Can I go out in the ocean and mess around with the marine life and get attacked by sharks? You know, we know there's going to be social media influencers in the game and that they're going to have a heavy presence on how people perceive us and stuff in the world. But are we going to be able to be social media influencers ourselves? Is that going to be an activity that we can engage with? I don't know. What about real estate? You know, Grand Theft Auto games have had some really cool real estate options, buying things up as you go. Vice City Stories had an incredible system. What are we going to see in Grand Theft Auto 6? I'm really hoping we see a lot of property ownership and like a real estate empire kind of thing, passive income. We for sure are in Grand Theft Auto Online, but that doesn't count. I'm talking single player here. Let me know if you think that's going to be in the game. I think that's pretty much a given and a little less wild, but again, I'm going off of what I have. So let me know what you think. And this last one, I'm just going to throw it on here because I think it's funny. I saw somewhere online someone was saying, hey, you could even run in politics and do like a political campaign. I think that's not going to happen, but you know what? Why not? Let's end the wild theory with like the most wild thing ever. What about you could become God or something like that? You know, whatever. We can just, at this point, that would be a whole nother category. Just make up whatever nonsense you want, and that's what you can do. But anyways, there we go, guys. I started with confirmed activities, or mostly confirmed activities. We got into the highly speculated activities, and then we just got into the complete bonkers tinfoil hat off the rails activity list with things that could potentially be in the game. Anyways, if you thought this was enjoyable, guys, please leave this video a like. These videos take a lot of time to make, and it would mean the world to me. If you're new here and you haven't seen any of my other Grand Theft Auto 6 videos, now is an excellent time to go and check them out because I put just as much work into those as I did this one. And if you enjoyed this, I think you're going to like them too. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for your support. I have been growing really fast and I am super appreciative to each and every one of you. You guys are freaking awesome. I know I used to respond to every single comment, but I just can't anymore, but I'm trying to get to you guys. But anyways, here are 2 videos for you that I highly recommend you check out. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, night, week, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there. Guys, we are so close to Grand Theft Auto 6. Peace.